Hi guys, what's up? So across the video, you will hear me say, this is the bonus episode for the kiaraeshi podcast. But when I started editing, I noticed that it's more of just like a random video that I would usually do, just without much editing and effects or whatever. So I hope you enjoy, even though I refer to it as the bonus episode for my podcast. It's just like a regular video, just me ranting. So I hope you enjoy regardless. Thank you. I have been following this drama for an entire week now. For some reason, just forgot to talk about it. Now, the thing is that I do talk about mainly local news and local situations on this podcast. But this is a very important topic because it's something on the internet, it's media, it's something we all consume, and it's very interesting to see how these situations played out. But I will make my point very clear, and I'm sorry, but I can't be completely objective when it comes to this situation because there's clearly bad people here. And I can't really defend the actions of most of the people involved here. So of course the situation I'm talking about is the Dawson, Jeffree Star, James Charles situation. And first of all, I want to say that I hate that I'm bringing light to the situation because I really believe in kind of letting people die off in the way of, being not relevant, being kind of like forgotten into oblivion. But I feel like I do have to talk about this because it's a whole mess, and it really talks about something that I brought it up yesterday, or on the last episode, on the main episode, which is cancel culture. I think cancel culture is a very interesting phenomenon, and it really talks about who does right and wrong on the internet. So of course I'm going to be talking about what happened with the situations. And cancel culture has a lot to do with who's right and who's wrong and who do we support in general, right? So of course it's a very interesting but mostly important conversation to have. So I'm going to talk about pretty much the main players in this situation, which are Dawson, Jeffree Star, James Charles, Tati. And I'm also going to bring up a very important situation, which is the Jenna Marble situation. I'll talk about all of it in a bit. So Dawson. I feel like this kind of all started because someone brought receipts and stuff like that about being on Jeffree's payroll, and people were accusing him and Jeffree of orchestrating Dramageddon last year, which is like, I don't think I need to go down that road of explaining what Dramageddon was. Crazy situation. Made the news. And he kind of let out a notes statement, because it's not even an apology, it's none of that sort, but it kind of felt like an apology, but it's really just a statement of how he feels about the beauty community in general. Anyway, he started out with like, no, I did not orchestrate the situation, although people have been saying that he kind of influenced in it. And then he goes to say, after his palette already sold out, that he's quitting the makeup world and the beauty industry because he used a lot of words that were pretty negative against creators, which is like narcissistic, egocentric, all they want is like tea and screenshots and whatever. And it's like, it's a laughable statement because you're literally hanging out with the epitome. You're actively defending the epitome of this. And I feel like to even save his butt of it, he even said like, oh yes, Jeffree is a part of that, but he's always going to be family, which is kind of ridiculous because, and like their association has always felt bad to a lot of people because it's kind of like no one wants them together. It's a mess. But him actively defending him, I think is really ridiculous when you're calling out the beauty industry, because he is that part of the industry. He and like 9 other fucking people are the people that you're talking about. The rest are pretty much very talented, very invested in making a living off making makeup content and all that stuff, and not being in the toxic world, and actually calling out like here's the thing that he talks about, like how the makeup community is negativity first and makeup second, which is like, no, it's those people because the rest, if what he sees as negativity is people calling out racist stuff or just calling out bad behavior, and it's not negativity, it's literally just that. And I don't know if your childish mind can comprehend that that's what's going on. Now that struck a chord with me because he said he didn't need drama for this whole situation, for the whole series. But then again, he and Jeffree were, and they're probably going to say they're not, but they were in a way, rooting, or really the opposite side of the whole James situation, because of course Jeffree got involved. We all know what happened there. And I have something to say about, because someone said that he was bad mouthing James on the telephone. It was kind of like talking shit about James on the telephone. I have something to say about that. I think Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star are haters. And it's ridiculous because apparently Jeffree was being all sweet and whatever to James, like probably a month or something before this whole thing happened. And out of the blue, just went against James for whatever the fuck reason. And I think I have an opinion on how Shane sees James, probably because Shane was probably good in his time, problematic as fuck, yes, but from a PR point of view and from YouTube's point of view, he was making a lot of content that people liked and he was very successful, and that's great. However, if y'all watch the series, he does say that he didn't get the credit he deserved, or like, not the credit, but like, he just wasn't as good making merch or like, navigating the world of profiting off of YouTube. And I feel like that really reflects on the way he talks about James, because he does go to say that James had the ego, had to have his ego brought down, right? And James is only 19. James is younger than I think Shane was when he started YouTube. Don't quote me on that. That's probably not correct. But James is young, and James has a lot of a following. James has a huge platform. And I see that kind of like hatred because of that. And look, I'm gonna talk about James for a second. I don't like James that much. I find him kind of annoying, but like kind of, he's done problematic shit in the past. Don't get me wrong. I've definitely seen that, but I have also seen a lot of growth in him. And now, to me, instead of problematic and annoying, he's kind of just annoying. And sure, he's fucked up a few times, but it's never anything that I'm like, that just disrespects a whole group of people. Recently, I'm not talking about the Ebola thing, but it's kind of more just like the quality of certain things. It's never kind of affecting someone else directly. So, James is still young, and I see, like, with the No More Lies video, he showed a lot of responsibility where he didn't even have to. The situation did not have to happen. Tati talking about him this way because she felt bad about her competitor and stuff like that. That was ridiculous. You're a fucking old ass woman. She's not old, but way older than him. And to kind of twist it and grab it and be like, I'm older than you, so I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna make you feel bad, and I'm gonna have people bandwagon me and support me to make you feel bad and feel accountable because you're a 19-year-old young person who has a huge ego. What is that? So yeah, that whole situation was fucked up, and Shane, of course, had to defend himself and just be like, I'm too sensitive for this, when it's like, I don't think I've ever seen such a tone deaf or such a like blind statement, because usually when people come through with apologies or something, people kind of back them up, and they're like, oh yeah, like, you apologize, so that's good, whatever. But I don't think I've seen one person defend him at all, or defend him and Jeffree. Now Jeffree, let's move on to Jeffree. If you can excuse racism, kind of like that community gift that's like, I can excuse racism, but I cannot excuse animal abuse, something like that. If you can excuse racism, okay, but he has definitely not shown growth as a person. I feel like he's just the kind of person that keeps attacking other people for no fucking reason, like we saw with the James situation. Just talks bad about everyone. It just, like, the definition of a snake. I see Jeffree as the definition of a snake. I also think he looks like a snake, kind of. And just in general, a volatile person who's just like, I'm not looking for drama, but then like does drama, and then he's just like, but can we focus on the positive? Like, shut the fuck up. So of course, certain things about Jeffree have come through. He apparently has other than the racist shit that's come through, he also has apparently very criminalistic friends, especially sex criminals, which is like a whole situation I do not want to unpack. But Jeffree keeps on being like, I have receipts on everyone. I can destroy careers. Kind of that. He needs an ego boost. Shane Dawson needs to sit down and realize that his friend is like this. And the fact that they keep, it's really telling that they're both friends and they kind of rely on each other for things, because it's like they're almost the same person. Just Shane kind of shows more like softness when he's really not like this soft bear that everyone thinks he is, and Jeffree is kind of more out there, but it's kind of like people, it's a whole thing. I'm not even gonna get into that. But yeah, so the thing overall, that situation kind of in a way is trying to seek redemption. They that's what the first series was all about, right? Shane going to Jeffree and seeing what his world was all about, and then like kind of trying to redeem himself. And in a funny way, it kind of maintained itself. Like they kind of stayed in their lane for a while. They even had James on that series. That's pretty telling as well, that they were all like kikiing, and then all of a sudden Jeffree got his fit of rage and did whatever he did. That series, of course, it was problematic as fuck. Like, I mean, it wasn't, the series in itself wasn't, but it was kind of Shane trying to give someone a platform. And of course, from then, everyone kind of started pulling out receipts of what Shane and Jeffree had done in the past, which is completely valid. But compared to what has been going on now, it's kind of like, yeah, they did all those things, but no one kind of paid attention. But either way, they didn't try to actively damage someone like they did with James. These people that Shane mentioned, which is literally Shane himself, Jeffree, Nikita, let's even mention James Charles, because James Charles has changed, but he's still, I guess, like one of the bigger ones, so of course he's going to be looped into that. Laura Lee, Manny MUA, Jaclyn Hill, all these OG big makeup YouTubers, of course. I feel like they're always actively trying to look for redemption in a way. Like, I'm not bad, I apologize for things. Like, they're always trying to save face. And it's annoying because they keep on getting a platform, and it's like, they're bad people. Why do we keep doing this? Well, not we, but a lot of people. And then came the Jenna Marbles situation. So, if you don't know who Jenna Marbles is, you definitely know now because of this whole situation. You've probably found out what has happened. So, of course, Jenna Marbles, I'm going to talk a bit about Jenna Marbles. I actually have loved her since the beginning, since when she made all these videos that were, of course, like, they had a lot of problematic elements. But of course it was like a different time. I don't even want to get into that because I'm not the one that's being offended or attacked or anything. So, right? Whatever. I think we've all actively seen that Jenna Marbles has changed so much. I think you can really tell a difference between Jeffree Star, who apologized for all his racist shit, but then keeps on being problematic as fuck. Not only as a racist, but also just in general behaviors, attitudes that he's taken. Jenna Marbles has really changed in that aspect, because even when she did make that bad content, the problematic content, which, don't get me wrong, I completely support her deleting it all, and just, I'm not one of those people that are just like, people are too sensitive. No, like, yeah, it was wrong for her to do all that. However, we have seen her change. We have seen her, change. And like I was saying, that content even wasn't with bad intent. It was distasteful, of course, but it was even without bad intent. We've seen her grow into a person that makes super wholesome content. I remember seeing like this, I don't know what it was really, but it was something with Khloe Kardashian where she talked about her own white privilege. I think, not that I'm giving her like brownie points or saying, oh, look at her, she deserves to be celebrated because she is, no, I'm not saying that, but it's definitely telling that she is very aware, is very socially conscious about these sorts of things. And even her and Julian are like that. You can tell that they kind of keep themselves out of drama all the fucking time. They do not associate with these people, and she felt the need to delete all them. I was so surprised when she pulled out receipts herself. She was like, I'm not gonna let y'all look this through. I'm gonna show you myself what I have done wrong. That really, like, I'm not the one being affected, but I think it does say a lot about her. And also just people saying like, why are you still associated? Which I have a problem with people kind of associating, like, if she still followed James, or not James, Shane and Jeffree and all this stuff, I feel like it's like she said, she is navigating the world just like us. But that's a story for another moment. Because for the most part, she has been a person who has minded her own business. She's done she's been, I can't say something bad about Jenna Marbles, and neither can a lot of people. And you can just tell that her attitude towards things have changed, and it's really what makes me sad. Because it's not like it affects me if Jenna Marbles leaves you, because I'm an adult and I know that she can leave whenever she wants, and like making content is a very personal thing for her. If she wants to continue or does not want to continue, that is all on her. And good for her. She wants to leave and branch out and do other things. Although it's really sad because you can tell that she genuinely enjoyed making all those funny videos. But what affects me and what makes me think like, what the hell is wrong with the world is, I don't know why I'm shaking, but it's the fact that someone who has changed so much, who does a lot. I mean, she doesn't, well, she does kind of contribute. She's helpful in all the ways that she can. But someone who is this unproblematic gets called, and I'm not talking about the people that called her out on it, because there's a difference, with my anger. My anger is not with the people that felt offended or called her out or whatever. I'm not talking about cancel culture is toxic or whatever. Like, if they felt offended and called her out on it, good, because she listens. That's another thing, that she actually listens and she actually takes it to heart, and she's like, you know what? It's true. Like, I did that wrong. My issue, and the reason I'm frustrated, is because Jeffree, Shane, all these other YouTubers feel so entitled to still have a platform where they continue to do problematic things. And they continue to kind of just feel like, yes, I need more. I need a fandom. I need people supporting me. I need my content to do good. Like, what is that? It frustrates me so much that people like her get called out on this shit. I mean, I'm not mad at the outcallers. I'm not mad at those people. I'm mad at the fact that these other people don't learn and don't think, you know what, I'm going to take some time to reflect and not make this about me, because that's another thing. These people make it all about me. I see so many influencers, not even those influencers, but just in general, influencers that make situations about themselves all the fucking time. Like, I can't believe there's racism in the world. I can't believe homophobia still exists. I am so hurt that my woman friend got sexually harassed. They make it all about themselves. And when these situations happen, they're always like, I'm going to take some time for myself because I can't handle the state of the world right now. Yeah, and neither can black people. Neither can gay people when they go out into the street and they get attacked or just their livelihood is at stake. I've said this, I don't think I've said this, actually, but I want to say it. I've thought of this scenario where, for example, if I'm just, like, minding my own business or doing whatever the fuck or something, if someone calls me, like, jodida blanca, or just, like, in English, just someone, like, shut up, fucking white girl, something like that, right? I have grown to a point where I kind of wouldn't take that too personally. Before, I probably would have been like, why are they attacking me? Like, I haven't done anything wrong, or qué sé yo. I feel like, okay, yeah, you called me that, and okay, you felt like you needed to do that. That's cool. Someone calling me a jodida blanca is never going to compare to all the horrible things that happen to people of color, black people, LGBTQ plus people, or even to me as a woman. Like, that being called out or being called Karen or being whatever the fuck is never going to compare to the horrible injustices in the world. Just to resume it like that, because I don't want to sound preachy, but it's the truth. So the fact that some people still take those kinds of things to heart and kind of don't focus on the bigger picture, which is calling out injustice and whatever, pisses me off. These people still feeling entitled to love and respect and a platform sickens me, which is why it's so admirable that Jenna decided to kind of stop her YouTube platform, even though she had done I'm not here to compare like apples to oranges or you know, things that they've done. I'm not here to compare that. But I'm just talking about someone who has grown and changed, and someone who actively still is ignorant, I burped, so I sound weird, who is actively out there just being a bad person and doesn't take some time to actually reflect on their actions and sit down and be like, you know what, yeah, I did all those bad things in the past and I'm doing them now again, and I need to stop making this about myself. So I felt like I needed to unleash all those things. Sorry, this episode was really unscripted and really just came out of nowhere. I felt like I needed to express those feelings about these situations that have been going on, because it's the internet and I talk about media on this podcast. So I hope y'all have enjoyed it so far either way. Thank you for making it this far. I really hope that we can be better all the time. I hope that we can like make the internet and just the world in general a better place for people who actually care about other people and aren't egotistical, whatever the fuck Shane Dawson said. So yeah, see y'all again next week. Don't know how to end this, so I guess I'll just say goodbye.